All right, everyone, we've got a good one for you tonight. Will our 19-year-old power phenom prospect be ready for the majors this season? Is Bryant or Conforto a better fit for the Mets? Marcus Stroman also will not shut the hell up. Everyone's favorite game, buy or sell, is back. Welcome to the Mets Weekly Roundtable.
This is Frank Cugino from Frank About Sports.
What's going on, guys? Andrew Acevedo back.
What's going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden is the name.
What is going on, everybody? This is Metsfan from YouTube.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm TonyMetro.
Big Apple Banter Media here with Elias. That's weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Welcome to Mets Weekly. All right, we'll start with Andrew Acevedo. Introduce yourself. You know the drill.
What's going on, guys? Yeah, I actually uploaded a video this week that wasn't a stream. Uploaded a Juan Soto to the Mets confirmed video reporting off the extension that he turned down, and also talked about today's topic in that video as well. Got a Rangers Penguin stream on Saturday, so we'll see what else happens tonight.
All right. Frank About Sports.
Yeah, I have a couple videos planned, but the hardest part to decide is when to release them because, I'll release them when MLB makes up their mind because at this rate, it could be another month before we even see baseball games be played. So I just want to try to find the right timing. It's been really annoying, but let's go Mets, and eventually the videos will be out, and there'll be a lot more content on the channel. So thanks for having me.
All right. TonyMetro.
Hey, what is up, guys? Been working on one for a long time, and I just can't piece it together. So it's going to be a video about the 1991 New York Mets, a.k.a. the worst team money could buy. I've been teasing it for a while on my channel, but just trying to find all the clips necessary to put it together. It's a long process, so hang with me. But in the meantime, I will have updated news about the lockout, about the Mets, all that kind of stuff.
All right, Mets Talk with Hayden.
Yeah, what's going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden is the name. Hope you're all doing well. Pretty much just been doing some live streams recently. Not a whole lot of videos to talk about, so just been doing a lot of live streams on the channel. Definitely do always enjoy those. And, let's hope this lockout could end, and LFGM.
Mets fan, we gotta stop you right there for a second. I think you're having some technical difficulty.
Some lag.
Yeah, a little bit of lag.
Throw away your microphone
on that, and I think let's give it a try again. Proceed. All right, so while he works on that, I have a feeling that I know the direction he was going in. I'm not entirely positive. If I'm wrong, then we'll get back to whatever the first subject was. But what we were talking about before this and what most Mets fans saw on Twitter this week was some of the interactions from former Mets starting pitcher Marcus Stroman. Stroman, we know, always has a way of really endearing himself to all baseball fans, especially Mets fans, but had some very colorful comments about the Mets, about the front office, about the fan base this week. So let's start off with Frank. Frank, what did you make of all that?
What I made of it is the guy has really come across like a bit of a phony. When he is employed by your organization, he'll have raving reviews about your team, about your fan base, say all these positive things. But if you decide to move on from him, all of a sudden then he has a bunch of bad things to say. And what I go back to is when the whole report, when Marcus Stroman first got traded to the Mets, and he had that, tantrum in the dugout and the clubhouse, and he was really aggravated that he was going to the Mets. He wants to go to the Yankees and things like that. But they said, oh, no, that's not true. I wanted to be a Met. And he talked all these great things about the Mets. And now all of a sudden, every chance he gets, he wants to bash the Mets because they decided to move on from him and upgrade from him and Max Scherzer. I think he needs to have that, self-consciousness that, listen, you're not Max Scherzer. And I think what's the most telling thing about Marcus Stroman is that every time he sends one of these tweets, he ends up deleting them. So he doesn't even have enough conviction in what he's saying to like keep it out there. Like he'll say something and then he kind of takes it back. So it just shows me the kind of, I mean, the way he's made up. It really, I'm kind of glad that the Mets have moved on from him. And I'm just curious to see, let's say the 3 years with the Cubs doesn't go well. What's he going to do? Bash the Cubs next? I mean, I'm just curious to see how that whole thing is going to transpire, especially if the Cubs don't make that many more upgrades. Because right now, their team isn't looking great. I mean, Marcus Stroman did not have a good win-loss record this season. I can't necessarily predict that it's going to be great with the Cubs. I don't see him winning 15, only losing 9. So I just think it shows more and more that the Mets made the right decision to move on from him. He is a bit of a fraud. He changes his opinion too quick. He looks like he has a bit of a hidden agenda where if he's on your team, he'll say good things. If he's not, then he'll say a bunch of bad things. So at this point, I can't really say I'm surprised.
Yeah, it seems to be a recurring trend whenever Marcus Stroman doesn't get his way or a team moves on from him, all of a sudden they are terrible, dysfunctional organization. There's no blame whatsoever. So, Andrew, what do you think about this Stroman tirade that we witnessed on Twitter?
I mean, if I'm going to be completely honest, I couldn't give a rat's ass what he says. That's the Cubs' problem now. He left. Yes, is he going to be a little prima donna and say, "Oh my, wow, the Mets chose Max Scherzer over me"? Wow, man, that's a hell of a downgrade for the New York Mets to go from the godly Marcus Stroman to this bum named Max Scherzer. I mean, what more to say? Again, like Frank said, he's deleted all the tweets. He says this, he talks the talk but doesn't walk the walk. Then he deletes, comes back. You know what? No, now I'm cool. Now I didn't say that. But yet the screenshots are all. Honestly, I could care less what he says now. He's the Cubs' problem now. Watch them because again, they're going to be probably third in that division at best, maybe even fourth, depending on how the Pirates do. Maybe they, maybe start seeing the younger guys. Maybe they're better because obviously I don't think they're going to sign Correa. I don't think they have many offensive pieces left. Wisdom had a nice year. Schwindel was like a really good story, but they're not really that much of a talented team besides like Wilson Contreras, and that's about it.
Well, they might even trade at some point.
And exactly, they might even trading him. So they have no pitching. Zach Davies is gone. The greatest pitcher on the planet. But it's let the Cubs fans deal with them. If he's like, "Oh, the Cubs fans are so much better," good job. I mean, they don't really care because that's more of a football time with the Bears. But go have fun. That's I could care less what Marcus Stroman says or does anymore. It's not the Mets' problem anymore.
And Hayden, tell me, what were you thinking about Marcus Stroman? First, were you a Marcus Stroman fan when he was here?
When I say fan, I wanted him to win games. Did I curse him out on streams and on these? Absolutely. Stroman was definitely a solid pitcher this season. He definitely did pick up a lot of the slack when it was needed. But unfortunately, his clubhouse presence and overall his morale in the clubhouse did not help this team out. We know that him and McNeil kind of had some controversy that was aside. He blocked him on social media. And as he blocks everyone else on social media. So not really a big surprise there. Stroman has a history of bashing teams. When the Toronto Blue Jays traded him, he really bashed the Toronto Blue Jays organization a lot. So it's nothing new. I'm not really sure what issue he had with Billy Eppler exactly necessarily. I don't know what the issue was. I mean, the fact is, would you choose a DeGrom and Scherzer 1-2 punch over Stroman in that? I don't know. But yeah, overall, best of luck in Chicago. Have fun with your 2-18 win-loss record. I mean, like you guys kind of stated, who's there? David Bodie. I mean, Frank Schwindel. I couldn't tell you. Overall, good for Stroman, I guess.
Yeah. The thing that just weirds me out about Marcus Stroman is that this guy has this manufactured chip on his shoulder. I mean, he obviously grew up and had to have been one of the best pitchers on Long Island growing up in high school. I mean, I think he was the number 1 ranked high school pitcher in New York when he was there. Then he goes to Duke. He was the best pitcher at Duke. Then he comes here, or to Toronto rather, and is the ace of that staff. And then he comes here and he pitches very well for the most part. And I know Mets fans are a finicky bunch and we can be very hard on our players at times, but this guy has made millions and millions of dollars, excelled at his craft, has his own business. He has some charities in the works to I can't understand how this guy needs to find so many negative and terrible things in his life when he's the one that is constantly preaching about positivity and keeping bad energy out of his life. Meanwhile, he takes to the Twitter waves constantly, is complaining about the Mets fans or calling Mets fans racist or the organization racist, calling out the new GM who he probably doesn't even know from a hole in the wall. It just is a very weird situation. If I had any advice for Marcus Stroman, it would be to maybe find a good therapist because he's got some deep-seated issues going on in that brain of his. Fine pitcher, great, but I wouldn't take him any day over Max Scherzer. So leaving it at that. Enjoy Chicago. That's all I got to say about it. And let's turn it back. Let's see if Carson's got his Mets fans got his whole situation.
How do I sound? I still sound like shit?
We hear you, but you're quite loud.
You're loud. And you're
Quite loud? Okay.
Yeah.
How's that? How's that? That better?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I have no idea what's going on here, so.
You got like the echo. You got echo location going on right now.
Okay. Give me a second.
So
Forget it.
all right.
Do we want to move on to what Buster Only tweeted about and a certain player that, a certain player?
I mean,
that
if Metro's hosting for a little while, I guess he should be able to have his segment. There you go. You're the host for now,
If it's
Metsfan.
going to be me, then I guess it is only fair and makes sense that we talk about one of the big little news nuggets that we got here in the last hour or so, and that was Buster Only reporting on the Michael Kay show this afternoon that it is seemingly more likely by the day that the Braves and Freddie Freeman will not be able to get together on a new contract, thus ending his time with Atlanta. One of the teams that reached out to him prior to the lockout, as Buster mentions, was the New York Mets, who, if you follow me on Twitter, you know I've said for a long time that the Mets should do everything in their power to change the power shift in the National League East, steal away one of the best players in the league from the chief division rival, and put him at first base. Personally, I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to see the Mets explore it. Hayden, what do you think about this report from Buster Only that the Mets talked to Freeman before the lockout?
Yeah, well, I think obviously Freeman's a great player. There's no doubt about it. Arguably the best first baseman in the league. I mean, with the maybe including Guerrero or Olsen ahead. But as of right now, I think it can be a possibility now that National League Baseball will have the designated hitter spot in the National League. This will definitely benefit not even the Mets, but the 14 other National League teams that may want to go after a DH or who may want to go after a first baseman, even the AL teams. As of right now, I like Alonso at first. He's your homegrown guy. He has historical records with this team. He's improved a lot defensively, and he's still improving a lot as time is to come with him. So, I'm patient with him. I'm giving him time, and he's shown himself. Obviously, he has much more power than Freeman. But yeah, obviously, he would be in that designated hitter spot if that were to happen. But as of right now, I really would find it crazy if the Atlanta Braves were to lose Freeman. It would be really just a slap on the hand because, it's they win the World Series. And I mean, that's what the cost is, losing Freeman following that. And you see a lot of teams win a World Series and then they kind of say whatever. The Astros, they won in 2017. Now, bye-bye Correa, bye-bye Springer. The Nationals, they won the World Series in 2019. They lost half of their guys. Red Sox, 2018, they lost Betts, a lot of other guys. So, it was kind of interesting to see if the Braves were going to have that. And unfortunately, Freeman is the guy that is likely going to leave. It would be unfortunate, like I said, stupid move for the Braves to lose him because besides Acuna, he's your franchise player. But as of right now, I would decline Freeman coming to the Mets. I would much rather Alonso in that spot. Realistically, it's just talk. There was talk that Springer was going to come here. There was talk that every free agent has had rumors to the Mets. I think it's just basic chit-chat because the lockout, there's nothing better to do. I really don't see that happening.
It's a good point. We as Mets fans aren't really used to or accustomed to us being rumored and linked to the big names in free agency or trade. So this is something we're all still getting used to. But Andrew, what do you make of this rumor from Buster Only of the Mets talking with Freeman's camp prior to the lockout?
Bring him here right now. You want to win the World Series? You want, let's say, even if you want to split it 50-50, your DH being either Freddie Freeman or Pete Alonso and one playing first base, and like Tony said, rip the heart out of the Atlanta Braves. That's their guy. Acuna's their new face of the franchise, but that's the guy that got them through their dark ages, the early 2010s, while he came up and grew up to be a star. You put Freddie Freeman in this lineup, who's already is a way better defender against Pete. And I was thinking about this when the report came out. If you want to put it 50-50, 50% Pete's at first, Freddie's the DH, play it as maybe for guys like Carrasco and like McGill and the bottom guys, you put Freeman at first for the better defense, and then Pete DHs. And then when the guys like Scherzer and DeGrom, high striker guys, you can put Pete at first and Freddie as the DH. You want another elite bat in this lineup. You want to win a World Series. Freddie's already done it. Freddie's won an MVP. You want a guy that hits and runs in the scoring position? Freddie Freeman does that. So he fills all the holes at DH, and so you don't got to worry about, Robinson Cano or J.D. Davis is our DH. No, you're going to either have Pete Alonso or Freddie Freeman be your DH. And that's a world, and you need another, like Metro has said, I think last week, there was not a lot of guys who put fear in this lineup. You put Freddie behind Pete or in front of Pete with, Lindor, now Canna, Marte, Nimmo, with those guys ahead of him getting on base. That's more RB. Guys always usually driving in 100, hitting 30 homers, hitting around over 300. This is an elite bat, and even as he's getting older, then, if Pete continues to develop defensively, as Freddie ages, Freddie can be the full-time DH, and Pete can play first. There is no benefit. There's not a deficit of this is a bad if you bring in Freddie Freeman. There's only positives, and it brings in more winning culture with guys like Scherzer that won a World Series. Marte, and Canna and Escobar, those guys, but it brings another World Series champion veteran in this clubhouse that this clubhouse desperately needs. For me, if I'm Steve, I'm getting on the phone as soon as the lockout's over. I know pitching should be the priority, but let's say if it's between the Yankees and the Dodgers are really the teams that are really going for them, why can't we be in that conversation? That's at least how I see it as. If there's an opportunity, if it's a short-term deal, big AAV, do it. He's probably going to want 6 years, and that's why the Yankees are probably going to do it. But if I'm the Mets, I'm in the conversations. I'm seeing what the price tag is. And if it's a price that we can deal with, I'm making that move.
Yeah, I'm bringing not only a great clubhouse guy, a great glove, great bat, but unmitigated superstar. Just complete package. 32, but despite that, I'm willing to go, even if it is 5 to 6 years. But Frank, give me your take. What do you think about this whole rumor that we heard from Buster Longley today?
Well, the reason why the Braves and Freddie Freeman have not come to an agreement is Freddie Freeman's asking price, looking for the 6 years. Atlanta wants to go 5. Freeman's looking for a big contract that he rightfully deserves. So if somehow the Mets were able to give the big contract to Freddie Freeman, I think that would tell me that Steve Cohen has gone full drunken sailor mode, saying, you know what, we don't care. If you want to be in win-now mode, you want to win a World Series, signing Freddie Freeman would help you out quite a bit if you want to prove that to the fan base, which they have already. But I think that really would just be icing on the cake. And like I said, just to take the main Brave out would be it would send a message, I feel like, to Atlanta that, listen, you know what, we're here to stay and we're here to come for that division. And Acuna probably is the face of the Braves now, but they won the World Series without Acuna. I mean, he missed the whole second half of the season, didn't play in the playoffs at all. Freddie Freeman is the Atlanta Brave. I mean, he's our David Wright, I would say, for Atlanta. It seems like at this point, homegrown guy, things like that. And I just think that if it would tell me that the Mets feel comfortable enough, again, this goes to the whole money aspect of it, where if you sign Freddie Freeman, him and Alonso have to play every day. So that means that one of them has to DH, which I would hope means that Robinson Cano either just gets bought out or they give him his money and he stays home. Even if they don't buy him out, still pay him, but just give him a fake injury. Give him knee soreness. Give him Jed Lowry. Soreness behind the knee. Robinson can also stay on the couch, and Pete Alonso or Freddie Freeman gets to take his job. If the Mets want to do that, I think it would help them a lot. They certainly could use another big bat, a guy in the middle of the order to give Alonso that protection and just to help make it tougher for the pitchers to navigate the lineup as far as the strategy of who do we want to face. So I definitely think that adding Freeman would help a lot. Like Andrew said, if it was up to me, I focus on pitching. But like I've said before, the starting pitching free agent market is not great anyway. So if you want to sign Freeman and then just focus on trades for pitchers and just fill out, because who knows when the free agency is going to even open back up, you might be able to get so many relievers on minor league deals, so many guys on one-year deals, that you might have a better group of guys than you really thought you would initially prior to the lockout. So I just think it's interesting, the fact that the Mets are considering it, the fact they even talked to him, it's interesting enough to show you that, you know what, they're not ruling anything out. I mean, they're willing to move guys around. They're willing to get kind of creative with that designated hitter spot. So whether they get them or not, I mean, obviously like to get them, but just the fact that they considered it and checked in, I think was really interesting. And listen, if it happens, you wouldn't hear me complaining. Because, listen, I thought Max Scherzer wasn't possible. I thought there was no chance Max Scherzer would come to the Mets. I thought the Mets wouldn't do it. But now you can't rule out anything, I feel like, with the way this offseason has gone. So, I mean, hopefully it happens, but I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah. This reminds me of well before the Mets traded for Robinson Cano. Sandy Alderson was the GM at the time, and I believe it was 2012 when Cano was a free agent. And Sandy Alderson gave a call to Cano's camp. And every Mets fan at the time knew they didn't spend. And it was more of a joke than anything. But the Mets checked in on Robbie Cano before he signed the mega contract with the Mariners. So part of me is like, is that what they're doing? They're just checking all their boxes just to make sure, there isn't like some, willingness on Freeman's part that he wants to come here. But at the end of the day, as much as I opine for this on Twitter and want this to happen, I don't think it's going to happen. I think there are too many moving parts for the Mets to make this work. The first being Cano at the DH at this point. Unfortunately, he is going to be a part of this team unless they work out a buyout, which I don't see happening. Number two, then we have Pete Alonso at first base. I personally would be fine with putting Alonso at the DH and Freeman at first. I think it makes this a better team, but I don't think it makes Pete Alonso a better player. I think Pete is better when he plays the field, and he actually was a pretty decent first baseman in 2019 as a rookie. 2020 was miserable. I've been on the record of saying he looked like he had gained some weight. It was obviously a weird season, but he shed some of that, looked a lot better last year. I just personally think he's one of those guys that he carries his at-bat to the next when he was DHing, whereas in the field he was able to kind of clear his head. So for me personally, as much as I would love for this to happen, I just don't think it's going to happen because there's too many moving parts for the Mets to make it work. But at the end of the day, if the Mets somehow found a way to get Freeman here on a 6-year deal, 5-6-year deal, and the money made sense, how could you turn that down? You're stealing the heart out of the Atlanta Braves. You're keeping him from going to the Dodgers, which is my biggest fear right now because that's an absolute juggernaut if they land Freddie Freeman. And you could kiss away the National League title if you're the Mets at that point, for me at least. But for me, I think it's going to be tough for the Mets to pull off. But we will wait and see. And I'm going to send it back to Mets fan. Let's see if he's ready for us now.
How do we sound now? We good? Decent?
It's good enough. Yeah, it's good enough.
Good enough? Okay. I'm going to have to fix that, but if I'm not going to choke. Anyways. Yeah, we talked about Stroman, just trying to catch up everything. Okay.
We jumped Freddie hard. And yeah.
Jump to Freddie. Okay. Welcome to Mets Weekly, guys, by the way.
You want to go
do you guys want to cover MLBPA right now, or want to go with that? Is there anything else? I mean, we saw something about it's a possibility they're probably going to delay the season, even though we kind of saw that coming. They're meeting every single day, and little progress is being made. They're pretty much a good. Well, I mean, they got under 100K apart, so
million,
100 million, under 100 million apart. So
that works. Progress of snail, but
this is the only thing I want to say about the whole negotiation thing is they're so far apart. And like you said, even though they're meeting every day, minimal progress is being made. My thing is, why someone has to give in in order for this to get done because of how far apart they are. Why would the owners give in? That's the question I have. Because we're looking at it, and if it's prorated salaries, the less games that are played, the less money the owners have to spend, which I think is obviously their ultimate goal. I mean, they don't care about baseball. They don't care about what the fans want. They're the ones that lock the players out. The owners just want to make the most money as possible. And you know what? You lose the ticket sales, but you also don't have to pay the players as much. Meanwhile, for the players, it's a lose-lose scenario for them because if they don't play, they don't make any money. It's not like they get to save money like the owners do. The owners get to save money. I think the only way anybody gives in for the owners aspect is if the TV companies get involved and say, wait a second, we're getting less national televised games. We're getting less, sponsorship commercials, things like that. That's where the owners are getting their big money from. It's not from the tickets. As much as we think that we're getting overcharged for parking and concessions and things like that. Where they're getting the money is the TV deals. So unless those companies get involved, the owners have no reason to give in. And I think it really stinks for the players that they would have to be the ones to really make a dramatic change. Say, you know what, fine, make it 50 million, make it a 25 million, upgrade compared to the 100 that we're asking for in order to get it done. I think that's really unfair. And I think that what that's going to do is it's just going to continue this really bad relationship that the two sides have to whenever this collective bargaining agreement ends, you're going to find yourself in the same scenario again where it's going to be every time these two sides have to make an agreement, it's impossible for them to do it. They can't do it. I mean, they're worse than, some other groups when it comes to making agreements on certain things. So I just think that it's really annoying that we're the ones that suffer the most as fans because, like I've said, it seems like the fans want baseball more than the owners do and even more than the players do because the fact that nobody's giving in, minimal progress is being made, and again, the pitchers are going to suffer. I mean, because you already have lost 2 weeks. They should have reported on the 14th. That's when pitchers should have reported. They still haven't. So even if you want to say, oh, we're still going to start on time, you might start on time, but the pitchers already suffered their work, as far as their work regimen and their routine, it really got messed up. So I've just been – it's left with a really bad taste in my mouth. I'm definitely very frustrated. And as a fan, it's a turnoff. It's like, you know what, we invest so much, but you don't invest anything in us. So I think the fans are the ones that are suffering, and the owners don't seem like they really care much.
Tony, anything you want to add? Hayden?
Yeah, really unfortunate. I know, Frank, you pointed out that the TV providers will not be happy about this. So same for the spring training sites. A lot of these, minor league affiliates and the ballparks they train at, thrive a lot on the spring training. Even, I live in Florida, so I guess if you want to get into local businesses, a lot of the small local restaurants really rely on that. Obviously, I mean, it's kind of, oh, well, it sucks to be them. But, it's just really unfortunate that, after a year of 2020, where 2020 really, in my opinion, kind of destroyed a little bit of baseball. 2020, in my opinion, was supposed to be the best year for baseball. I mean, the Mets were coming off of a phenomenal year, that great comeback. Unfortunately, they just fell short. But baseball was supposed to really thrive in 2020. And then, I mean, listen, I get it. 2020 wasn't necessarily MLB's fault, so, I'll give them a break for that. But this is their fault. They can control this. 2020 was the federal and state government saying no. Now it's them saying no. So, I blame both sides. I really do. It's not just, it's 50-50. It's not, it's all the owners, or no, it's all the players. The owners, they were the one that waited, 40-something days to start talking. They were the ones that locked the players out. You don't have to have a lockout. The players and the union can obviously come and just agree on the current CBA in the meantime and try and get something resolved. Yeah, it'll be less leverage, but still. There was a possibility of getting federal involvement, a third party, which I probably would have thought would have been arguably the best option. That's what happened in '94. Federal judges issued a preliminary injunction on the Players Association and the owners, and pretty much said you had to agree on the current CBA and work it out in the meantime. And I hope we can get something like that this year. I mean, it would suck, but would you rather have baseball or no baseball? So, and like Frank said, it just really leaves a negative thought in our mind, saying that, we invest so much into these ball clubs, with tickets, with revenue. And, they sit here and, it just pisses me off. You have Max Scherzer, getting at it. What was yesterday? The Porsche, and today was like the 76 Buick. But, hey, what do I know? But really unfortunate.
Anything else? Anyone add anything else?
AAA opening day, April 5th. Watch party on my channel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna go crazy with that.
Real quick, the owners unfortunately have the leverage here, and this is the situation right now. Max Scherzer is going out there and he's representing, and he is, I believe, in his heart of hearts, doing what's best for Major League Baseball, for the players, for the minor leaguers. I think he really, truly cares about that stuff, as well as the other players that represent the Players Association. That being said, Max Scherzer can afford to be losing $100,000 in pay every game that the season misses. These minor league players cannot afford that. These players, these fringe, first year players cannot afford to be losing that. So I think there's going to come a point where the Players Association is going to have to ease up on some of their demands and their wants and their wishes. And unfortunately for them, they're going to end up not getting as great of a deal as they were hoping for. Because these owners, they are billionaires. They are making money from other areas of life, whether, Steve Cohen, a hedge fund owner, other guy, whatever it is they do, they are making money. Like they don't need to worry so much about baseball. They're saving money right now by not, especially when you think about it, April and March, is the 30th. Is that the first game of the season when it's 40 degrees or even snowing in some places in the country and no one shows up to the game? I mean, the owners don't care if they miss games. It's going to start to affect the players, especially the guys that aren't making the Max Scherzer type money. And I think that the players are going to have to cave soon if they want to do for the best for the greatest majority of them.
Especially all the players unsigned too. I mean, those are the guys that are really making absolutely no money at all. There are way too many relief pitchers out there. Carlos Correa is still out there. We were just talking about Freddie Freeman a little while ago. Overrated outfielders are still available. So those are the guys that really are suffering the longer this goes on. It makes it much tougher for them to get the additional prices that they set out for.
God. Well, soundboard's not working, so that sucks. All right. Anyways, anything else we can add on this one, and then we'll just move on. This is all right. We'll move ahead. All right. Anyways, Mets' number one prospect, Francisco Alvarez, has expressed that his goal this season is to make the majors this year. And Alvarez is 20 years old, and he's coming off a breakout year, which has been split between low A and high A, slashing 272, 388, 454 with a 132 OPS plus and a 132 WRC plus. Scouting-wise, he's been compared to Salvador Perez offensively. He's been compared to Will Smith defensively. And he's pretty much ranked as a top 10, top 15 prospect in baseball by Pipeline, Baseball Prospectus, etc. So is it possible that we could see Francisco Alvarez in the majors this year? I'm going to start with Andrew. Go ahead. Is it possible?
No. You're not seeing him until 2023. The only way you see Francisco Alvarez is if James McCann and Tomas Nido turn into me offensively and defensively. That is the only way you're seeing this kid. You do not rush this kid to the big leagues. I don't care if he comes a double A and he turns into Juan Soto offensively, like what he did when Soto got to Harrisburg. That's the only way. Do I see him doing that? There's a very good possibility, but I'm not rushing this kid up. Let him develop. If Adley Rutschman has to sit through all of double A and triple A just to get to the big leagues, you're doing the same damn thing that Adley's doing. So you ain't seeing this kid this year. End of story.
It's like with the parent with their kids. It's like, you're staying right there, bitch. All right, Frank.
Listen, Francisco Alvarez said he wants to be in the major leagues. It's his goal, so that means he's going to try the best he can. He's going to try to prove that he belongs, which means that he's going to try to play really well when he's in double A or triple A or things like that. And it doesn't matter if his framing is good or not, because he's going to be hitting long balls, and that's all that really matters. That's all that the front office cares about. It's all I care about too. And if James McCann plays the way he did this year, and the Mets spent all this money, and James McCann and Ivan Rodriguez without the offense can't get anything going, they might not have a choice but to call up Francisco Alvarez. I don't see it happening either. I think they do want to take their time with him, which I understand because he is that important. I love him that much. I want the best for him. But if he's trying to do it, I would say never say never. You never know what can happen. It's going to be a short season. A lot of weird things are going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of weird things happen. So it'd be cool to see him, but I wouldn't count on it either.
How many wet dreams have you had about him in the last month and a half since that video came out?
Since the video came out, oh my gosh.
Does DeGrom hate McCann? I don't think DeGrom has
It's called analytics. People hate James McCann. He's a good dude, good Christian.
DeGrom doesn't. I don't think DeGrom has any emotions. Hayden, could we see Francisco Alvarez in the majors this year?
No. I think it would be really rare. There's no way I could imagine him being called up in April. Maybe there's like a half to 30% chance that he could make it up at the September call-ups. This is the thing. He's 20 years old. I've always expressed that I want to see a lot of New York Met players start to be called up much younger. Listen, it's rare that you're going to have, your 20-year-old, phenoms, like your Sotos, your Acuñas. I get that. Catcher is the one position that I would rather them be 25 and make their debut than 20 and make their debut. Whether you're first base, center field, I don't mind as much them being young. Catcher is the one position that you really got to be cognizant about because, framing in that stuff. Now that, the National League and the Mets are going to have a designated hitter, I don't care as much about catcher's offense. Last year I did because I don't want to have two back-to-back bats that were useless. But Alvarez, from the offensive standpoint, he looks good. He has insane power. He mashes the ball. I love what I'm seeing from him offensively. I'm not super concerned about that, but I definitely will still value it. It's the defense. And I think his defense is fair. I don't think it's quite maybe what his bat is. So, definitely let him develop maybe another more year defensively just to, continue to gain stuff. Obviously, he is going to have a lot to work with this with this rotation with Scherzer, DeGrom, Walker, a lot of these guys. So we'll have to call these guys. So really interesting to see. Personally, the answer is no. Maybe 2023, small half chance September call-ups.
All right, Tony, Alvarez, majors, yes or no?
No, it's not going to happen. The responsibilities of a major league catcher are just way too much for a kid that can't even legally go buy alcohol at this point. All right. I mean, age really doesn't mean anything, but let's be honest. The guy hasn't even played in Double-A yet. Yes, he can mash. He hit 24 home runs in 99 games last year. It's going to be asking way too much of this guy to be able to command a pitching staff that has two guys at the top of the rotation with a combined 5 Cy Youngs. It's not going to happen. There's an off chance maybe if McCann and Nito are hurt or McCann's playing like we know McCann plays, which is terrible. But I really don't think the Mets want to rush this kid. He seems like, I don't want to say a generational, but he seems like, the next big Mets offensive prospect. And the last one I could think of from that bunch would be Brandon Nimmo or Michael Conforto, Pete Alonso, I guess, as well. But I don't see them rushing this kid up. They're going to make him do his time in Double-A before he sniffs the majors, in my opinion.
He's just going to be another Fernando Martinez.
Fuck you, dude. Jesus Christ. Yeah, personally, I don't think so either. Only because of just the position he plays. I mean, the catcher they don't develop that quick, and he still isn't there defensively. But he's young. He can definitely get better. So the earliest you're going to get is late 2023 or 2024. You don't want to ruin the confidence of a young catcher like that. It's just something that you don't want to do. But his bat, I'd say, is like, 4% K rate away from being MLB ready. I mean, kid can hit. Either way, this kid's going to be really good. I can't wait to, send McCann to the Shanghai Sharks. I mean, the future is freaking bright for this kid, and I can't wait to see him. Anything else we can add on Alvarez, but other than that?
Yeah, we could add one more thing because I know he cannot learn anything from any of the catchers on this roster right now. Please, I want this guy to be following Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer around spring training if there ever is a spring training. I want this guy to digest and get as much information from them of what they like out of a catcher. I want them to tell him, this is how I like this and this is how I like that, in the off chance that he ever does come up and is going to catch for those guys in the future. But how could you not want to learn from a battery mate like that? Two of the greatest pitchers in Major League Baseball history, it looks like at this point. I mean, Scherzer, no doubt. DeGrom hopefully is going to be in that conversation as well in the next couple of years. So, he's got tons that he can learn from those guys. I'm hoping that they're going to really make him take a deep dive with them when spring training does eventually come.
I mean, Alvarez already. I'm pretty sure Alvarez like hit a home run off of DeGrom in like a inter squad game or something. So maybe he already has him figured out. So I don't know. But yeah, I guess other than that, we'll move on. We got some good times. So guys, make sure. My mic was being a dick, but make sure to give us some questions. Obviously, we'll star them and we'll answer them throughout the show or towards the end as well. So, anyway, did I miss anyone on Alvarez? Sorry, my mind is a little fucked up right now. Nope, we're all good. Okay, cool. Pat Ragazzo from Sports Illustrated labeled Michael Conforto and Kris Bryant as the most realistic bat options for the Mets in free agency. According to an industry source, Conforto in his rookie year definitely did not perform to expectations, slashing .232, 344, 384 with an OPS plus of 101 and an WRC plus of 106 in 479 plate appearances. As for Kris Bryant, splitting time with two teams after being dealt to San Francisco at the deadline, being selected to his fourth All-Star team, slashing .265, 353, 481, with an OPS plus of 124 and a WRC plus of 123 in 586 plate appearances. This is somebody the Mets have really been linked to for a while. The third base upgrade, the versatility, destroying left-handed pitching, postseason experience, etc. Now, the Mets signing Canna and Marte, it looked like the door was closed on a reunion with Conforto. But in Port St. Lucie, Mets manager Buck Showalter definitely emphasized that maybe that wasn't the case for the Mets, and they're still looking to add to their outfield. So tons to unpack here. Do the Mets go the Kris Bryant route, who might be asking for multiple years, or do they hop on the Conforto revenge tour, battle the Boris clients? Folks, who are we taking? We'll start with Andrew.
I mean, both of these guys suck, so, I'm picking between mid and mid, because there are better options for the Mets to go out and upgrade a position. Kind of like how Marte has been linked for the Mets for, it seems, a decade. Kris Bryant's the same way. The Mets have already gotten Marte. I think the Mets are going to end up with Kris Bryant. Is that the best option for the Mets? Because obviously Bryant's going to get a 5 to 6 year deal at minimum. Where Conforto, if you sign Conforto, it'd probably be a 3-year with a 1-year opt-out, because I think that's what Boris would want. He guaranteed if Conforto has a great year, which he bounces back to being the 2019, 2018 form. I'm excluding 2020, even though it was a good year. He's back to that form. He'd opt out to try to get paid in the offseason. Where Kris Bryant, you're not getting that opt-out. You're going to get Kris Bryant for $20+ million for 5 to 6 years. Yes, does Bryant fill a hole the Mets have had and it's killing left-handed pitching? Yes. Are there better options? Like I've said, yes. But if I had to put gun to my head, who should the Mets pursue? It's probably going to end up being Bryant. I wouldn't prefer either of these guys, but again, I think it's going to be Bryant.
All right, Mets talk with Hayden. Bryant or Conforto?
Yeah, well, obviously, listen, I guess it comes to nostalgia versus, I guess, a new era. I guess with Michael Conforto, I guess nostalgia really is the thing. I mean, he really had a very impressive track record from 2017 to 2020. I guess you could argue really impressive numbers. Obviously, we know that he really struggled in one of the most unfortunate years that a player could struggle, right before they're going to hit the free agent market. And usually it's the opposite. Usually that's their best year. But I'll say for Conforto, a guy who was not liked and booed at the plate by me, he had a high walk rate relatively. He had a fair high chase rate, fair whiff rate, and expected weighted on base. He did show some light, I guess, towards the end of the season. Obviously, defensively, there's no issue with him. But in terms, I'm not really worried about him as a player. I think it's going to come down to him being a Scott Boras guy. Scott Boras, I respect him, but he's a tough guy. He fights for all of his guys. You see all these all-stars, all the guys on the market are going to Scott Boras because he gets the best deals done, and he's one of the best guys out there to get a deal with. So I think it's going to come down to, obviously, Conforto wasn't willing to take that qualifying offer back in November. Maybe with the lockout, how things are turning out, he doesn't want to be rushed to a new team. Maybe he'll throw the Mets a bone. He'll sign a 1-2 year deal, 18, 20 million, something like that. I don't know. But then you have Kris Bryant, who I guess is more needed, I guess, for the Mets. Obviously, that third base position and the infield, it wouldn't hurt to add a guy like Bryant. Obviously, he's a utility guy. You could throw him at third. You could throw him at left, center, or right, arguably. Nice bat, hits well against lefties. That's something that the Mets have had their fair share of issues with, especially last season. But as of right now, I think it's really tough, but I got to go Bryant.
All right. Frank. Bryant or Conforto?
Well, when the Mets signed Mark Canha, I thought the door was closed on Michael Conforto because I was just under the understanding that Mark Canha is a very similar player to Michael Conforto, the way they play, the position they play. So I thought once that happened, they didn't have to think about him anymore. But, I mean, again, if the Mets are going to be creative with this DH thing and give Cano some Jed Lowry knee soreness and free up a spot, or, again, one other way you free up a spot is if you trade McNeil and make Cano your second baseman, which is not a good idea. It's not worth doing that for Conforto, in my opinion. But I think that, like Andrew said, they've just been linked to Kris Bryant for so long that you feel like at some point, eventually it kind of has to happen. I mean, you can only be linked to a guy for so long before it actually does end up happening. And like you said, the versatility that Kris Bryant has and the ability to play third base is just so important. I mean, that's the one position that the Mets, they've been trying to upgrade for a long time now. And Michael Conforto does not help you with that at all. Technically, could you make Mark Canha third baseman? You could, but again, it's not ideal. It's not the. How many times have we seen the Mets have guys in secondary positions? I don't want to continue that trend. I don't want to have Mark Canha play third base where his primary position is the outfield. So I think that Kris Bryant fits better because he can play third base, and then we know that the outfielders, like a Mark Canha, is on a short-term contract. So once that contract expires, because Kris Bryant, if he does sign, it would be, like Andrew said, 5 years plus. You move. We said before, move Kris Bryant to the outfield. Third base is open for whoever wants it. Beatty, Mauricio, Vientos, whoever's still on the Mets, that position is open for them. With Michael Conforto, it's like you're still going to need a third baseman at some point. So it doesn't really help you in that regard. And I feel like Carson said how many streams ago, oh, this has a lineup of a bunch of the same guys. We need something new. Got to change the core. Got to change things up. Bringing back Michael Conforto does not accomplish any of that stuff. Will Michael Conforto have a better year next year? Of course he will, because that's what he does. Good year, bad year. It's his motto. It's his thing. But who knows? 2023, 2024, if all of a sudden the guy's batting 240 and he can't come through the clutch, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not going to be like, oh, my God, I never predicted that. But that's just who he is. He's streaky. Meanwhile, Kris Bryant, you know what you're getting. You know that he's not going to be good year, bad year. He'll just be pretty good every single year, which is what I'll take. So give me good old KB.
All right. So I took track there. I got about, 12 shots, I'd say. All right. All right. Yeah, I'm good. I mean...
Wait. There's still one more Conforto hater to talk, and then you get to talk.
Jesus Christ. Tony, go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to surprise you. I'm not as staunchly opposed to bringing back Conforto as you may think. When I look at this Mets lineup on paper, it does not instill fear, in my opinion, to opposing teams, okay? I like Mark Canha. I like Eduardo Escobar, but those guys to me are more like role players that you fill in and sprinkle in here and there, maybe a platoon situation in the outfield. Eduardo Escobar is going to move around second base, third base, I think. But if you're going into opening day with Eduardo Escobar as your starting third baseman, I got a problem with that for a few different reasons. Number one, we know he's not a high OBP guy. I love RBIs, I do, but I need a little bit more than that from him. And we know he's not a great fielder. -2 outs above average at third base last year. Guess who had a better outs above average at third base last year? Former Met is Drupal Cabrera, who has one good leg left, if that. I don't even know. He might have a bionic knee at this point. My point is, I really like the idea of getting Kris Bryant because I think we need some stability at third base. And I don't think it's going to block the inevitable call-up of Brett Beatty or Mark Vientos wherever they land defensively, because we know while he doesn't do all these positions well, Kris Bryant can go to the outfield. He can play some first base, and obviously we now have the DH as well. I've also been on record saying Bryant, 25 home runs each season that he's played at least 140 games. If it's Conforto, though, I wouldn't hate that either. Put Conforto in right field. Mix and match Mark Canha around the outfield when appropriate. Even, maybe put him, Conforto, or I guess Nimmo at DH at that point if the time calls for it to fit Canha in somehow. There's a lot of different options. So I don't think either of these are bad calls. I do think Kris Bryant's the better fit. I'd like to get another right-handed bat in the lineup, but I don't think you could go wrong with either. And like I said, they need another big bat in this lineup. So hopefully one of these guys is the answer to that.
An unexpected swerve from TonyMetro.
That being said, Michael Conforto sucks, but
There it is.
Jesus Christ. It's so far along now that it's like just a lost cause. Okay. Yeah, I'm good with either, to be honest, because they do both make the lineup better. But, I mean, if I had to choose one, it's Michael Conforto. It's easy. I mean, let's be real for a second. We all know how good he is, and sleep on him all you want, but like, Jesus Christ, I'm having some fun. I'm having some fun mic issues today. Yeah, sleep on him all you want, but that's all I can say is like, to all these mouth breathing, tired takes, and Twitter GM Mets fans and Frank, I don't lose. So, just think about that. I don't lose. All right. Anyways,
You lost last night. What are you talking
that's
about?
kind of weird because Conforto hit 12 home runs last year, but okay.
Only 2 more than James McCann.
Exactly, but I mean, chicken.
The guy always has the ball on the ground. I mean, how is that even possible?
oh my! What is this? What is this vision y'all?
What about the video I shared in our Twitter chat of Edwin Diaz blowing a save and Michael Conforto throwing?
Yeah, that only tells me that Conforto's clutch. So thank you for that narrative.
God, but Diaz is not good. So which is it? You can't die on both hills. Which is it?
Conforto's clutch. What do you want
And
from me?
Diaz sucks.
Oh yeah, Diaz is horrible.
Here we go.
One saves,
We
man.
got it finally, boys.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
See, this is what the eye test does to you. It just rots your brain. Okay. Whew. Any
Not a
other
spice-
shots y'all want to take that just make you sound like
facts.
idiots?
Kind of a light segue. I was expecting some fireworks. You guys like little firecrackers.
Well, I was completely thrown off. My mic just wanted to be a bitch this entire
Like,
time.
I was
so-
expecting a tag team match, Metro and Frank versus me and Metsfan, but it's kind of timid
Hey.
conversations.
I just never forget that the grand slam Edwin Diaz gave up to Jacob Stallings.
That's
had a
never-
2
that's
kilo of
never gonna
photo
die.
In a launch angle of 16, and so that I can't believe it was a home. It shouldn't have been a home run.
It should have been a homer. No.
It was not. It's so lucky. I can't believe that. Unbelievable. Conforto's hard hit percentage is in the 90th percentile. I don't know if you guys know that.
The
All right.
shift is in the 90th percentile.
All right, Tony, you can go back to hosting. I'm just gonna go throw up.
Stop it. Get back here.
Get back here, Tub.
Come on.
Come on.
Well, anyone else want to say anything about Edwin Diaz and Conforto while he's there?
No, I mean, let's just.
They're
If
good players,
Conforto's
yeah.
here, I don't think we're all going to be. I think we'll be. I don't think anyone will be upset if Conforto's back because, like you said, you can put Canha and you could switch swap him and what's it called? Maybe make Conforto the DH. Maybe not the best option. Make him a DH because you get more. He does have more value defensively, but it's either or. Would you prefer to give a 3-year deal with a potential opt out to Conforto or 5 years to Bryant? That's like the hill I'm laying on.
The finances are going to determine it. And I think the Mets are in a great situation with Boris, obviously getting the Scherzer deal done. Now we have Cohen, obviously not afraid to throw his weight around the room. He's dealing with big boys with the Mets now. So the Mets are in on anybody that Scherzer represents, which is great. Let's not also forget that this could lead in the future to a potential beneficial deal with Nimmo. I know he probably doesn't think that way, Boris, but hey, the fact that sheer willingness, the Mets are willing to talk about these guys with Boris, I think it only behooves them in the future with other guys, especially like with Nimmo, who he now represents as well. All right.
Yo, when did I eat chicken, dude? That shit just came up right through me. Okay. That's fucking crazy, man. When did I eat chicken? I had burritos.
Jesus, already one beverage down. Damn.
Yeah. Stress. Okay. Yeah. Moving on. Okay. Now. There we go. All right. At this time, anyone not on the 40-man roster is in Port St. Lucie, Florida for spring training. And there has been some names floating around of potential breakout prospects. We've seen this, for the last few weeks. But let's dive into the Mets farm system. Let's talk about some underrated prospects and who are some guys to watch for this upcoming season in the minors. I'm going to start with the minor league guy himself. And Andrew, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I did too, but one, I looked at the question of who's going to be involved this year, so I'll save the other one maybe for after. The under the radar guy for me is Josh Walker. Left-handed started, played in Syracuse. I guess I stole Frank's guy because he smiles, or maybe not. But Josh Walker, 6'6", lefty, 27 years old, drafted in the 37th round in 2017. Fastball, curveball, mostly needs to still develop a changeup. You look at last year's just win-loss record and statistics. I don't know why I said win-loss record. Stats from last year in Syracuse: 9-4, 3.73 ERA in 20 games started, 115 and 2/3 inning, 98 strikeouts, a WHIP a smidge above 1 at 1.02, average against 211. I could see him again. I know how Frank's gonna bitch and moan about the 40-man roster, but we're going to add guys to deepen the pitching, but let's say, again, dog days of July, which every team's going to go through. Dog days, you need to call a guy up. He's better than a Jared Eichhoff. He's better than a Robert Stock. And, of course, what's more valuable than just having a left-handed starter, especially a ginormous left-handed bolt? We can use him as a bullpen or maybe use him as a starter. I prefer to kind of use him as that, maybe I wouldn't say a second lefty, but, swingman, maybe you bullpen a day and maybe you have him pitch the first 3 innings to go to, Drew Smith if he's actually decent this year or whatever the rest of the bullpen looks like. He could be, again, that's the guy who I'm keeping an eye on. Say, I don't know if you'll see him on, obviously, I hopefully don't see him on opening day, but, once that injury bug hits in July, late June, early July, and you start needing to see bodies, he's a way better option than guys like Eichhoff and Stock. And, I know there's a certain old man who's been crapping on the 40-man, which, maybe we'll get to in a future video. But I think my man Josh Walker, I've talked about him on a few streams, a few other Mets Weeklies. I've kind of liked this kid. He's kind of like that sneaky under the radar starter / bullpen.
All right, Frank, under the radar prospect.
Yeah, I have a guy that is not really being talked about, even though his timeline matches up with the current team, and that's Carlos Cortez, second baseman. A little bit of a smaller guy, only 5'7", but he hit, I think it was 14 home runs in 79 games. So he does have some power in that bat. He's been bulking up. I saw him in a batting cage, whatever, swinging. So, the guy's timeline on MLB.com is 2021, and we're in 2022. So they feel that he is major league ready. As of right now, I don't really see a current fit for him exactly. Kind of interested with Walker. Right now, opening day, he doesn't really have a spot because of the way the starters and bench are working out. But like Andrew said, who knows what's going to happen? If there are injuries or you need somebody to call up, maybe give Carlos Cortez a chance over Travis Blankenhorn. Because Blankenhorn's on the 40-man roster. Cortez is not. I feel like give a young guy a chance and see what you have in there. Maybe you have somebody that could be a second baseman that comes in every now and then. And just have another bat from the left-hand side is always a positive thing. And if he's ready, I don't see why not, because he was in Binghamton, so he still has to go to AAA, but who knows? I just think he's someone that you don't see at all on social media. Nobody talks about, nobody mentions him, but his timeline matches up. So not right now, but maybe eventually he might have a role that he could fill at some point.
All right.
One of Mets fans' favorites.
Yeah. And you'll see why once that video comes out. Tony, you have anybody under the radar?
I'm a little ill-prepared for this. So I was brushing up on 2 guys I feel like haven't been talked about a whole lot. The first one was Calvin Ziegler, who was the Mets' second-round pick, I believe, last year. What are we looking at?
No, he's right there.
He's
That was the guy I was going to talk
right.
about after everybody talked.
Okay. Yeah, Ziegler was the top pitching prospect out of Canada, which apparently is not a very highly scouted area for Major League ball clubs. Probably could have been the first pick for a lot of teams, but I guess because the draft was shortened that he fell a little bit. He's still many years away, but I just feel like he's not really being talked about a whole lot. And with the news that Matt Allen had another procedure on his arm recently, all of a sudden things are starting to look a little dicey with him and his future. Obviously, we're hoping that's not the case. JT Ginn's still a few years away. And then there's only two other pitchers in the Mets farm system that are ahead of him, and that is Robert Dominguez and Dominic Hamill. So Ziegler hopefully takes some strides this year and can end up being one of the future guys in our rotation down the line, although some people are suggesting he could end up in the bullpen. And then the other guy would be Eric Ortze, who's another pitcher that they drafted, I believe, in the third round in 2020 or maybe 2019. Cool story, two-time cancer survivor. And he actually reached AAA and has already solidified himself as a reliever. So not exactly like a sexy idea, but hey, what has been the biggest bugaboo for the Mets over the last 10 years for the most part? It's their bullpen. How difficult has it been for us to develop a reliever outside of Seth Lugo? Jerry's familiar when he first came up. This team is constantly having bullpen issues. And if there's a opportunity for him to come in, I mean, I could definitely see him making an impact on the team in 2022.
Ziegler really, he kind of just fell right behind Kumar Rocker. We obviously didn't sign Kumar Rocker, and
Magnum. Let's go. I like me some Wagner.
Yeah, okay, that's
another decent name here. My boy Alex Ramirez, but
that's a good one too. Samon Wan's a good one. Brian Mctoyer. This guy could be invited to spring training this year if they have it. We don't know. Probably won't. But this guy, lanky guy, 6'3", 175. This guy was he was a 40th round pick for the Mets in 2018, and he really excelled after that whole no minor league baseball in 2020. Fastball at 96 to 98. High spin rate curveball. This is what he's known for, the high spin rates. Very explosive, big strikeout guy. Walks are a bit of an issue with him. But basically just because he kind of throws at that over-the-top motion. He's 25. Definitely could be an option down the line. But other than that, yeah, why not? Trying to add something else, but I forgot something about, but I guess I'll say it later. We're a little flustered today.
There you go. There's Frank's favorite man right there, Jose Budo. Might be in a future Frank about Bryant video.
Any man that's buttoned his name, I'm already concerned.
Okay. But yeah, like going like at least someone, obviously we shout out the Matt Olson swing of JT Schwartz. Plummer and Lee are both on the 40-man. Magnum's a good shout. Ramirez is a really good shout. But, those guys are years away. Same thing with Simone.
Yeah, Ramirez is not ready yet.
Jalen Palmer, we have...
Jalen Palmer might, because he's older. If he hits in Binghamton, he could be someone in September. Or, like, in dog days, injured-wise, you could see.
Duplantis is another one.
Yeah.
Decent leadoff hitter. Good down base guy. But other than that, yeah. Anything else you want to add on this?
I mean, how is Travis Blankenhorn in the top 20 prospects?
I don't.
Because he hits dongs.
Like when he does it, he hits it far, but just Gangham hits the ball.
Hey, Humpty Dumpty's got when he makes contact, the man hits absolute nukes. But who knows? And they'll be up to he will not be on the. God forbid, I don't believe he'll be on the updated top 30 once that hits in April. He will no longer most likely be in the top 30, but that also is that list that you see on Pipeline hasn't been updated since like July. Like they do after the All-Star break and before the season. So that's why you see Blankenhorn still in the top 30. Like you will see those guys cleared out. Maybe like at 30 if but also with the draft you probably will get updated. Goodbye. But we'll see.
I'm guessing the Pucky's ranking is going to be hurt as well. It already has been. He went from top 10 to 20.
Yeah, he's full.
All right, what do we got next?
I think it's time to get spicy.
Yeah, it is time to get spicy. If you're not familiar with this game, it's very simple. It's called Buy or Sell. It's one of our favorites that we love to play But anyway, this time we prepared our own hot takes, and we're gonna go around, and we'll each have 15 seconds to explain why we would buy or sell on that person's take. I'm gonna pull up a timer here, very generic timer, but I kind of like it. It's kind of pretty, so I'm gonna pull it up here, and we'll start off with Andrew's first hot take. What do you got on this one?
All right, we good?
Yeah,
For the timer to go up.
it's pretty. Very generic.
Very generic. Don't we have one saved to the logos?
We do have one, but it just was pissing me off. So
Okay. So ready whenever we start when the clock, or let's go.
no, you give your take, and
Okay,
then we'll say
gotcha,
buy or
gotcha.
sell. We'll each get our 15 seconds.
Obviously we'll start off mild. Most of mine are pretty mild to the last one, or maybe they progressively get more spicy. That is Brandon Nimmo clears Starling Marte easily and becomes the true number one center fielder on this team.
All right, Tony, buy or sell?
Yeah, I'll buy on that. I could see it happening. Nimmo made some great improvements out there, particularly because of the way they positioned him. He's obviously younger, more athletic, I think, at this point. I could definitely see that happening. I'm going to buy.
All right, and then we reset. Wow, that's so cool,
That's
isn't it?
so amazing.
Frank, buy or sell?
On Andrew's topic, or I go to mine?
On mine,
On
yeah.
Andrews.
On Andrews, I'm going to sell. I think that Starling Marte still has enough speed left in his legs where he could play center field. Offensively, maybe, but I think defensively, Marte could still play center for at least one more year.
All right. As for me, I'm going to buy, of course. I'm a huge Nimmo fan. I mean, this man is probably a top 5 player in baseball right now. But great center fielder. He got better defensively, and as Marte ages, he's only going to get worse. Whew. All right. Frank, let's get your first hot take.
All right, this one is a pretty, it's very mild. But the first one I have is that by the time it's all said and done, Mark Vientos will take Robinson Cano's job. I think that we learned in 2020 that steroids are one heck of a drug, because 2019 Cano was absolutely brutal. So I think that he's going to be such a loss in that lineup that Vientos is going to be raking. He's going to get called up, and the Mets their hands going to be forced, and Vientos is going to have to take his job.
All right. Tony, buy or sell on that?
I don't know if he's going to specifically take his job. I just don't see how the Mets are getting out from under this whole Cano situation. That's the only reason I can't buy it. So I do think we're going to see Vientos. I do think he'll take time away from Cano. I just don't know what's going to happen with Cano.
Jet Lowry
All
Sorensen.
right.
It's very easy.
Very.
Jacoby Ellsbury Sorensen.
Yeah, exactly. Put him on Jacoby Ellsbury or his
Yeah.
hockey Robida Island. Just put him out there and leave him.
Yikes.
Just give him the Kemba Walker treatment. Just shut him down.
Of course, he had to throw that in somewhere during the show. You knew that was coming.
Fuck you, man. Jeez. Knicks point guards over and over and over again. Okay.
It's the Rhino.
Let's see. Rhino. Buy or sell?
Well, I mean, I've said on 3 straight Mets weeklies that I've said he should be the opening day DH. So of course I'm buying this. Again, Vientos is already, I think, at this point in Cano's career, I think Vientos is already a better hitter. Obviously, he has to prove it in the big leagues to prove that. But obviously Vientos should be the opening day DH.
Okay. All right. Let's see. As for me, I'm just going to say that it's kind of hard to say, considering you're kind of tied down to Cano right now. But I would definitely prefer him to be that DH because he's got incredible gap-to-gap power. And Mark Vientos, I've got to take for him, which I'll say that eventually. But I'll get to my first one here.
I just think you can't spend all this money and have Cano just be a complete waste, like the way he was in 2019. I mean, what's the point of spending all that money? Eventually, you got to do what you have to do to win games. And if that means putting Cano on the bench, so be it.
All right. Well, my takes are hot takes here.
Okay,
And these are not.
Tony doesn't get to
these
go?
are not to.
Bro, you just
These are
have
not
a
to
thing against
prove-
Tony?
What?
You're the host. You go
What?
for it. Tony goes.
Didn't he say? I was gonna. All right, Tony, go. What's your first one?
Jesus, Mets fan versus Tony.
Yeah, I don't know. The guy doesn't like me, I guess, but it'll be an easy one because Frankie stole a little bit of my thunder there. I was going to say that Mets third base prospect Mark Vientos is going to make the opening day roster in 2022. By yourself.
Ooh, okay. Frank, buy or sell?
Yeah, I'll buy. I feel like in spring training, you're going to be like, who else is going to be our bench bat? I imagine J.D. Davis is going to be traded. So then you just have Mark Vientos take that role as the first bat off the bench, get some starts every now and then. He's got Alonso-like power, so maybe he starts the year like Alonso did.
All right. Andrew, buy or sell?
Here's all my money. Just buy it. I'm on the Vientos hype train. Again, pure power, George Springer swing, and he doesn't play as good defense as Springer, but he will hit as well as George Springer. Yes.
All right. Yeah, as for me, I'll buy it. I want it to happen. Again, I just don't know if they're just going to waste away that contract with Cano or work something out with him. But other than that, I'll buy it. I want it to happen. Vientos is really, really good. All right. Do I get my take now?
Now you may go.
Do I get my take now?
Now you may go.
Dickweed. All right.
Drew Smith will outperform Craig Kimbrell. So
I do have a Drew Smith one.
Of course,
it's even hotter than that. It's even hotter than that.
Oh, Lord.
Oh God! All right, ready?
Uh-huh.
These are hot takes, not I want to make everyone smile takes. So
oh God, this is gonna be the shit on Mets.
All right, ready for this one? Drew Smith will fill the loss of Aaron Loop perfectly this season. Buy or sell, Andrew? Give it to me.
Absolutely fucking not. Sell that shit to Korea with James McCann. They'll take them both. Drew Smith, as at best, you use him when the game's blown out because he'll throw his little cutter right down the middle, and then like Justin Bour's gonna hit a bomb off. Sell.
Justin Bour? What is this? 2014? The hell? All right. No spite, Frank. No spite. I know he blocked you. No spite here. Buy or sell?
It goes into the whole criteria. He doesn't have good mental makeup. He's sensitive. He's soft. A little bit of criticism, and the guy wants to cry about it. So he's not going to fill a fair loop. He gives him too many long balls. And he's a minor league reliever, and Aaron Loop was the guy last year. It was all-star Loop, not minor league Loop.
Jesus Christ. All right. Another Drew Smith lover right here. Tony, buy or sell?
Yeah, if I was going to categorize relief pitchers that have been with the Mets over the last couple of years, I would probably have Frank Francisco, John Roush, 50 feet of crap, and then I'd have Jacob Rom, and then I'd have Drew Smith.
Jesus Christ.
So I didn't say it, but sell.
What the fuck did this guy do to all of you? What the hell?
He sucks.
Did he like?
He's hurt. He's not good. What do you want?
He's got good flow though. I'll give him. He's got good hair.
Oh my God.
Him and Gazelle have a hair contest.
Exactly. That's what. Yeah, they both should be in Korea.
Do you guys know anything about improvement? Is that any possibility, like adjustments?
No,
I haven't
it's either you suck.
I see the same crap. The guy blows games. The managers don't trust him, whether it's Callaway or Rojas. I don't see Buck Showalter, or veteran manager, trusting this young guy hasn't proven anything. So why would he?
Just sign Joe Kelly. He's already better.
Yeah, there you go.
God. You all suck. You know that? All right. Andrew, were you the first one?
I was.
Yeah.
So all right, now we're at Buffalo Wild Wings. We're in the mild. You know, we start off baby. Now we're at the honey barbecue. Just a little bit more spicy. Francisco Lindor will win the National League MVP and bounce back to his 2018 form. 30-plus homers, 270 average or higher, 40 doubles, and a WRC plus of 140.
Frank, buy or sell?
I mean, I'll buy it. I could see him having a really good year offensively. So, I mean, you could always use as much offense as possible. So I will buy.
All right. Tony, buy or sell?
Pains me to say it, but I'm selling on that. I just don't see him doing all that. I mean, I hope he has a better year. I can see him, hitting maybe almost 30 homers, having a better average OBP, whatever it is like that you want to look at. I think he can make an improvement almost everywhere offensively. I just don't see him winning the MVP, specifically with the other talent that's in the National League. I don't think that's happening.
No, this is
right.
no. Actually, he's probably right. This is his Beltran season, so he'll get shafted by a lesser quality player on a championship team. So maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but
All right. All right. I'll buy it because he said 2018 form, and I do think he will somewhat match that 2018 form. But I don't know if he will be an MVP. I don't know. That's the only way he'll be worth that contract fully.
Just give me top 10 MVP like he was doing. You don't have to necessarily win the MVP, but be a top 10 finalist. That's what he
I'm
won
thinking.
in 2018.
I'm also thinking the Mets are going to be like an 06. We're just going to run away with the division, kick everybody's ass, and then Beltran.
Well, that I'll sell, but
Maybe he again has the Beltron here. He gets shafted by Albert Pujols or Ryan Howard, but
Hall of Fame.
We're
right
taking
now.
all the shots today. All right. Frank. Next.
Our
take
next
here.
one. The third best starting pitcher on the New York Mets is going to be Taiwan Walker. Guy was an all-star. I think that since he got through a full season with no injuries, he'll be much more prepared this year as long as spring training doesn't get too delayed. And who's going to outbeat him? Carlos Carrasco, who did not pitch better than Taiwan Walker, or a rookie that who knows what he's going to be like year two. So if the Mets don't make any other additions to this rotation, Walker will be their third best starter.
All right. Tony, buy or sell on that?
Well, you threw in that condition at the very end if the Mets don't make any other additions, and that was going to be my whole basis, that I believe they're going to go out and get some other guys, at least one other big-name pitcher. As it stands right now, yeah, he's probably in line to be their third best starting pitcher, but I'm definitely skeptical after his second half last year.
All right. Andrew, buy or sell?
hard sell. His arm's cooked, and I still think we get a bounce back from Carlos Carrasco. I think that was the worst you're going to see of Carlos Carrasco. If he goes back to being a 370 rate quality number 3, and I do expect, like even what you said, I do expect another arm added. So if not, I'm still probably betting on Carrasco to have a better year.
All right. As for me, it's a sell as well. I got to sell this one. I mean, I think this is just a spite deal with the chat right here. First of all,
very much so.
I think his fastball is pretty much completely unthrowable at this point. Yeah. All right. Is Tony's? Tony's?
Yes, Mr. Metro.
Tony's next one. All right. Tony, next hot take.
Don't know how hot it is. It's still probably mild.
Mild. Okay. This is the mild round.
It's very been talked about quite a bit in the Mets universe. But the New York Mets will trade Dom Smith before the season begins. Are
you sure that's mild or ranch?
It's mild, and there's a lot of ranch on the side. It's not that.
Okay. Andrew, buy or sell?
That's an easy buy. He's on the first plane ticket out of here once that lockout hits.
That it? All right.
That it.
Didn't want to plug anything? No? Okay.
I'll say that for next one.
All right. Frank, buy or sell?
Yeah, I'll buy that too. He doesn't really have much of a role in this team. Like we said, the DH position, playing guys can take it over him. He doesn't do much defensively. Only thing is, what's his value? Like, what could you get for him? But I think they'll just try to get something.
Oh, man. I don't want to give up. I don't want to give away so much from this video, but I do think they're going to find the value in Dom Smith, and I think they're going to keep Dom Smith until the trade deadline. And I think he's actually going to have a pretty good role off the bench. So sell. And then next take is mine. So this one, this is okay. Mark Vientos will be a better major league hitter than Brett Beatty.
This motherfucker.
Okay. Frank, buy or sell?
Gosh, this is a really tough one, but you know what? Analytics are never wrong. Ground balls are bad.
I will
Red Beatty
fight
hits
all
too
of
many
you.
ground balls.
I am going to
It's
fight
all about
all-
the dingers. Give me Mark Vientos.
All right. I got someone jumping to my side here. George Springer dingers all the way, man. Yelich regression. All right. Anyways, Tony, buy or sell on this?
Don't worry, Andrew. I got your back. I got to sell on this. Mark Vientos, he looks like a nice little prospect. I mean, really hasn't had as much hype as Brett Beatty has had. And as I said on Twitter a couple days ago, this guy gives me such Freddie Freeman vibes. Brett Beatty just looks like he's got such a great approach and beautiful swing. I don't think you actually think that Vientos looks like George Springer. If he wasn't as tan as George Springer, none of you would be comparing him to him.
Look at his swing. The swing is fucking identical. Run a side by side. It's the same swing.
Give me Brett Beatty.
As all the non-racist people say, I don't see color. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Andrew, buy or sell on this? You're just gonna curse me out for 15 seconds.
I'm gonna go over to 30. I don't care what his time says. You're a fucking idiot. No, I'm kidding. I think Vientos could overall maybe be a better offensive player, but Beatty's the better overall player. I'm gonna sell it, but I could see Vientos just being a pure DH and raking, where Beatty's just the overall better player. I'll sub that, but I still think Beatty's the overall better player. Better bat potentially. It's not as crazy as maybe the Rhino persona came off with.
Yeah, Beatty sucks. Okay. Next hot take for Andrew. The last hot take. He's gonna hit me with this one.
Yeah, this isn't. Maybe this is flaming hot. These are like flaming hot Cheetos that got ran over by a truck that got hit by a rhino, and I'm gonna say it. And this is the thing. I'm gonna stand up, guy. Put it on Twitter. James McCann will have a revenge season and have a higher WRC plus than that trash can squirrel Jeff McNeil.
Oh man. Oh, Frank, trolling Mets fan or hopping on the go ahead, buy or sell.
I was buying. I had it. I had the purchase. I got to the register. And then when they told me the price was better than Jeff McNeil, I said, you know what? Keep it. I got to sell it.
All right. I don't know if Tony, you still here, man? If not, I'll buy or sell it.
There you go. I'll go after you.
Yeah, all right. Let's buy it. Why not? I don't care. Fuck Jeff McNeil. All right. That man's got to go. Have you seen James McCann in 2020 and 2019?
134 WRC plus.
Okay?
Jesus.
He was so good. All right. Now that my head has now formed from an ass to a face again,
Oh, man.
James McCann will have a higher or a better offensive season, shall we say?
Yeah.
Than
Jeff McNeil.
Jeff McNeil, buy or sell.
And this is, and I should have clarified. This is if Jeff McNeil stays on the Mets, not if he's playing in Cincinnati. I should have preferenced that.
Buy or sell.
Yeah, I live in LA and I thought we had the best weed here, but whatever you're smoking on, man, you got to send me some of that because that is some for Cocoa Puff stuff you're saying over there. I got to sell on that. And you know why? I know Jeff McNeil is going to have a good year because the TonyMetro tweets are coming, and that's how I get McNeil going. We all know that.
You got to tweet after every single
AB. Just after every AB, somebody's got to tweet something out.
All right, Frank, last hot take.
All right, last one. Tylor Miguel does not become an ace this year. He could bud all he wants, but you know what? We saw what happened with David Peterson. Give major league teams another year to learn a guy, study him, figure him out. He gave up way too many long balls. You're concerned about Walker's home run rates. What about the home runs Tylor Miguel gave up? I don't trust a rookie. Sophomore slump does not become an ace this year.
Okay. Buy or sell, Andrew?
Absolute freaking buying. What do I get? Is there a way I can buy multiple? Like, is this like Sam's Club? I can stock up. Yeah. Could he be a solid pitcher? Yeah. Is he an ace? Hell no. At best, he's a number 3 starter.
Okay. Tony, buy or sell?
Yeah, I'm buying that. I was pretty early on the hype train for Tyler McGill, but all of a sudden, oh my God, he had the same exact statistics and same age as Jacob deGrom when he came up. Oh my God, they're going to be the same. Like someone makes a YouTube video about it. Won't say any names, but all of a sudden, oh my God, he's going to be an ace. Okay, got it. Solid pitcher, number 3 at best.
Okay. I'll sell for the future, but as of right now, this year, I'll buy it. I still think that changeup needs a little bit of work. The control a little bit needs work, and he needs to learn a little bit more of a workload. But other than that, buy-ish, sell-ish. I'd say that. Okay.
Tony, your final hot take.
Tony,
We in the
final
blazing
hot
section,
take.
so we got to go hot. Or at this point, trolling at this point, because that's what I've done, and Frank did the same thing. So you got to either troll one or you got to blazing one.
It's really not that hot. I got to be honest. It's not that hot. But the one that I had written down was that the New York Mets will sign one of Michael Conforto, Nick Castellanos, or Freddie Freeman. Buy or sell?
Okay. Andrew, buy or sell?
Sell, because I don't think they're signing any of them. I think they're going to go other ways. I think if they're going to add a bat, I still think it's going to be Bryant at any bat. Even though I don't love it, I think that's the bat to go, and I think they're going to put all their resources in the bullpen and starting.
Okay. Frank, buy or sell?
Yeah, I'm gonna sell only because, like we said with Cano, until you find an actual way to move him off the team, there isn't really an open spot to warrant that kind of contract. I still would like to focus on pitching, so I'll have to sell.
Hey, Jared, do you want to spot on Mets Weekly? Because that's probably the smartest thing someone said in the chat in a minute. So you want to spot on Mets Weekly?
If only they knew. If only they knew the information. Okay. Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna sell it as well. As much as I love Conforto, I think his time in Queens is done at this point. The writing's
Now
pretty
he
much
admits
on the
it.
wall. Freeman, unlikely. As
Castellanos.
for Castellanos,
All right, so now we have this dude. After that Drew Smith one, we'll see where this psychology goes for.
All right. I'm gonna hit a few of y'all in the heart here. You ready?
No.
The Mets should have brought back Jose Peraza over signing Eduardo Escobar. I never said these were gonna make y'all happy. All right. Buy or sell, Andrew? Yes or no?
I mean, hitting a dong off Josh Hader, or like hitting a bunch of dongs in Milwaukee. You know, Peraza's clutch. We don't know if Eddie's clutch in New York. So, you know, I'll sell it because I like Frank a little more than you right now, but
All right. Frank, buy or sell?
he's looking into his soul right now. What is
I'm gonna sell. I mean, Peraza had big hits. Don't get me wrong; it would have been nice to have brought him back. But is Jose Peraza ever gonna make an All-Star team? If he does, you could telephone me or write me a letter. But other than that, give me Escobar.
All right, here's the bet. If Jose Peraza is the starting shortstop for the New York Yankees and he makes the All-Star team, all of you have to cash app Frank $5. There you go.
All right, Tony. Buy or sell?
That's going to be a no from me, dog. No. No. I mean, do I need to say anything else? Just no.
Oh my god! See, mine weren't as hot, man. Mine weren't that hot. I don't know what y'all talking about. Mine weren't that hot of a take. How many of those hot takes will be right at the end of next season? I don't even know.
I'd say the Nimmo one, the McGill one.
Vientos.
I'm saying all three of mine.
Vientos.
Yeah.
All three of mine because I barely miss.
Oh yeah, you're shooting like Ben Simmons from half court right now.
He's been working with Kyle
Yeah,
Korver.
and then
He's
who's
gonna
gonna?
be
Yeah, and then who's gonna? But I don't lose though. That's the problem.
Bro, you're acting
I
like
don't
the
lose.
Oakland A's right now. Just stop.
What?
Just.
What did you just say to me?
Yeah, you heard me.
Okay.
Do we have any questions started? I don't even know.
Yeah, we got any
That
questions?
thing's
I mean,
so
I know the
fucked up.
chat's been kind of mid tonight, but
Mid tonight. That's our new word. Mid.
is there anything buy or? Well, here we go. There you go. There's one. There's another buy or
Okay.
sell we can use.
Miss the playoffs without. We'll do it without. We'll do it without a timer.
We're out of time here. Just talk about these.
Said I should trade McNeil.
Yes. Send
Yeah.
him on a rocket.
Yeah,
Put him in a
fuck McNeil.
squirrel mobile and just ship him out of here. Like, just get his. He has a weird face.
McNeil, man.
Just has a weird.
I'd
face.
rather have Carlos Cortez play second base. I'm not gonna lie. Luis Guillorme can get the starting job. I don't care. I don't give a shit, man.
Come on, guys. I know you. Usually the chat drops some good questions. Y'all are okay. So Joey Gallo's in the chat. Got it. Good to see Joey Gallo's in the chat tonight.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'd like to speak to this one. I had a tweet yesterday that picked up some steam to that, and my reply to that from Fox was he should stop striking out. He strikes out at a 36% clip. That's 13% above league average, highest in the league. I mean, I get where he's coming from, but if you've seen that graphic, Ted Williams, they used to shift everybody on the right side of the field. He still got hits. I mean, Joey Gallo trust me, I don't like the shift, but he strikes out. If he stopped striking out, he'd probably get a lot more hits by putting the ball in play. What's your on-base percentage when you strike out? 0, unless it's a drop third strike, right? So if he put the ball in play a little more, maybe he wouldn't be having so many issues with getting base hits.
Jerry, you were 1 for 1. Now you're like hitting 1 for 2. No hit wit to the Mets.
No grit wit.
No.
Oh, that's our Tim Tuffle right there.
I mean, I've always loved wit, but we got enough contact, on base, guys. We need
To be honest, our Tim Tuffle is probably Cortez. To be honest.
No, but
think
the Mets
about it.
got enough for like on
They
base
could
slap
use some
hitters.
power. Yeah, they could use some.
Yeah, they got to get it. They
I
need a
like-
kind of Joey Gallo type. Just got.
Yeah, I like Schwarber, but again, where are you going to put him? That's
What
the
did he say
problem.
about the shift? I mean, drop down a fucking bunt then.
Exactly,
I wouldn't mind seeing the shift used like timeouts, where you have like
It's like
only 3, and
I
then
mean-
like
yeah, you have like a certain amount per game, or maybe 1 per inning. Like you could choose the one batter
One
you
guy,
want to
yeah.
shift per inning.
I-
I don't, just
I
something
had this-
creative, make it more of a strategy of when you shift. But
I had
other
this
than that,
one thing.
I would love to see again. Drop that one bunt, see what happens.
Be nice.
One
It
bunt.
would be nice, wouldn't it?
Whether
Would be
it's
nice.
Gallo,
Nobody practices that
Conforto,
shit
whoever.
anymore. It's just
Just
like
one
nobody,
bunt.
no one does it.
nobody bunting.
See what happens.
Nobody bunts anymore.
Okay, and we talk about the shift, and there's only one guy you can bring up on the Mets about the shift, Michael Conforto. I mean,
Well,
that's just the one person that you can't. You got to bring up. Shut the hell up.
He's not on the
Okay.
Mets. So
Shut up. But the last game he played was for the Mets. All right.
but
Might be the last
Shut
game
up.
He does play. I mean,
Shut up.
Log on
No one
Ducks,
likes you.
They can
Okay.
have opening in right
I
field.
mean, it's true.
I was
No fucking
watching
matter.
the Ducks practice. I was like, you know what? They can use it on the right
the
field.
Ducks could, dude.
Okay.
Imagine Michael
Okay.
Conforto on the Ducks.
Okay.
I hear that,
Yeah.
and it blows out the right
could
field.
take-
So I would like.
Andrew, you can take Kirk Neuenhuis's spot.
Hell, I mean, yeah, Kirk Dendecker retired, so they're missing some former Mets.
Yeah,
outfielders.
Decker's coaching now, actually.
He's
so
coaching,
Guys,
Now. There you go.
Perfect.
Hey,
spot for him.
Conforto's a great coach.
Guys,
Liz
host of
is
Mets
in here.
Weekly will be up for sale on eBay. Auction starting at about 10 p.m. tonight.
10
Um,
Let's get serious for a second here. Obviously, what we're saying is upsetting Mets fans.
Of
So
course.
let me
Yes.
propose an actual situation to you.
Okay,
If
Metro's
you-
good at this.
If you had to make a trade, and let's say
God.
Conforto was still on the team,
Okay.
would you trade him for 2016 Alejandro De Aza? Now, really give me some thought on it.
I mean, he did strike out as much as Michael Conforto, so you get your give and take.
Center fielder, though.
Does
Bring
play
some
center
power.
field. Does play center
You
field.
might as well take Guillermo Heredia, right?
In fact, can we get a player to be named later in the deal?
wonderful
And
outfielder
can it
for
be
the
Sean
Braves.
Gilmore?
The outfield dimensions changed between when De Aza played for the Mets and now because he might pop up 1 or 2 more home runs.
Maybe another homer.
He
Yeah,
did get very unlucky.
very
Yeah.
unlucky.
God, it's such a shame when that happens.
Oh,
Oh my god. I mean, here's the
unlucky
thing
state.
about
Well,
Alejandro De Aza.
he's actually looking up his freaking fan graphs. Who cares?
Here's the thing about Alejandro De Aza. I'm gonna ask one thing, okay?
Okay.
Thing about Alejandro De Aza, he did strike out a lot, but
He did.
did he strike out like this?
You.
No, because he couldn't carry a team to Game 7. So
Yeah, you know.
neither could.
I mean, yeah.
Swing the fucking bat, Carlos.
All right. No, but the shift, what we were talking about, I had this one thing and I gotta find it, but I think I did like this whole calculation of like if guys like pulled and not went to opposite field or something, and I did it for Michael Conforto. The guy would probably be slashing like 980. It was something like that. It was 980 if he went against the shift and went the other way, like he did in 2020 or 2019. What now? All right. Anyways, buy or sell, the season will be delayed to July.
Sell. It's just not gonna happen.
It's just not gonna. Yeah, you're gonna get a 10-game season. That's what you're gonna get.
Still, they're gonna get it in sooner than that. I think they're gonna miss some games, but I don't think they're gonna miss more than 20.
I'm
yeah,
not
20
in.
20 is a fair number.
How about this? What do you guys think? Can we move this to a 140 game season? Does it need to be 162? What do you guys think about that?
I prefer more games, but I wouldn't mind at 140 as long as we're not getting like double digits. Keep it out of double digits. I don't really care.
Can't be under 140.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be under. That definitely can't be under 100. But I would prefer. Obviously you want 162, but I don't know.
I think they need more games. They need 250. That's what they need to be.
I think they
honest.
should just play year round. Make everybody build
Play
a
your-
dome and there you
like
go.
DR. Exactly. Just build a roof, people.
Everyone should.
Fucking
I mean, that should be a thing.
fuck
For-
off.
I mean, instead
especially,
of Cohen buying sharks, can he buy a freaking roof?
dude,
Okay,
put
yeah,
the
can we talk about
dude.
that for a
Shout
second?
shout out to Steve. Can we put the shark in City Field?
What are we, the Marlins now?
Why
Sharks
not?
are way cooler. Just put the shark in like left center by the kids. Be like, hey,
To be
look,
honest,
kid,
that
they really
aquarium
got a
that the
shark.
Marlins had, I think that was the reason why the Mets lose to the Marlins all the time. To be honest.
Better idea. You know how they have the dunk tank out beyond center field?
Yeah,
Let's put the shark in a big dunk tank, and we can have Yuri's Familia still
Andrew
employed.
and
Drew Smith, put him on there. Let's go, baby. Right down the middle. Oh,
Right there.
Familia has to
stupid
hit
at
the
that.
target to not go in the duck. tank.
Familia has to hit the target first. though.
Exactly.
no,
So-
Familia's sitting on the board.
He's sitting, and Drew Smith are sitting in the
Right.
bucket.
We are the ones throwing
Oh,
the ball
so-
back to the game.
Oh, but we're not putting James McCann on there because of weight capacity.
Yes, and James McCann's actually likable.
And we
supposedly-
need him. He's actually.
And we need the McChicken.
playing
We don't
an
need Drew
important role.
Smith.
That's debatable.
He's a
That's
starting
debatable.
catcher.
He's
Not a
he's an
minor
all
league
star.
Too
reliever.
fucking bad.
And
You know how hard it is to
reliever,
find an all-star
Familia.
catcher? I mean, come on.
Yeah, like Wilson.
There's only a couple of them every year.
Only a couple of them.
There's only a couple of them.
Let's see.
Got anything else before we?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. Because for some reason my internet is looking at me and saying I'm ready to burst.
Sell. The
Ooh,
deal's
buy or
not
sell.
getting done in this month. It's not happening.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I don't see any of that happening.
I'm not gonna lie. I think you're just gonna see the relationship get even worse and worse and worse. I mean, how many days are they gonna waste here? I mean, you've seen so much little progress at this point. So how many days are they gonna waste? And
Both sides are being stubborn as of right now. Unless you see some kind of progress, you got 4 days until this whole delay thing. So, That's it. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, if they're not going to move at all towards a deal, then nothing's going to happen. I mean,
No.
that's pretty much it.
I got a quick buy or sell for you guys. Cross town. New York Yankees will sign one of Freddie, Freeman, or Carlos Correa. Buy or sell?
Bye.
Really? Wow. I'm selling. I think if they didn't, I keep going back to this. If they didn't sign Seager, they're not signing Correa.
Well,
And I think that why would you sign Freeman if you could just get Rizzo so much cheaper? They're so worried about spending money. Just bring back Rizzo.
I'm gonna sell that only because I think Steinbrenner will be homeless in about 3 years, so we're just kind of, just like lowering him,
Because again, I see the
possibility,
or in like this scenario, I see the Dodgers signing Correa, and then that takes Dodgers out of Freddie, and then that would just leave the Yankees pretty much bidding against themselves, unless the Mets are getting involved. So
Must
Could I-
suck to the poor New York team. Oh man.
Oh, exactly.
That must suck.
Jose
man.
Peraza,
I mean,
you're only signing pre-lockout. Like,
I mean, I've said like
clutch.
Yankee fans would not they wouldn't last like a day in a Wilpon off season. They wouldn't like could you imagine?
bro,
like,
imagine this guy pitching for the Yankees.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the big free.
I had to chill. I had to bring it
Oh
up
my
at least.
God.
Earn it.
Was a good guy.
He is-
Good
It's an
human man.
autograph. How much would that go for? Like
$5. The picture's worth $5. So there you go.
Yeah, someone
Micro
buys it,
penny?
Earn it.
Bro, I'll mail it to Frank. Yo, Chad, should I mail this to Frank? Have it perfect. Think about it. He's got a spot on top of Tom Seaver. Put Heilman over Seaver right there. Look at that. There's a perfect spot for it.
2 of your favorite pitchers to watch as a child.
2 of your favorite pitchers. Of
I'll
all
tell you
time.
what. I'll make a bet with you. If the Mets win the World Series, I'll put their own helmet picture back there. And
Bet. There
it's
you
got
go.
the Tom
Chat.
Seaver
Clip
one.
it.
All right.
Put it in the Discord.
Bro,
Put it on
you
Twitter.
can't tell me that Aaron Heilman doesn't look like the McBoyles from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I mean, it's uncanny. Like,
There you go. There's a side by side. I mean,
There
yeah,
you go.
he's got a fat
Jesus
face.
He looks
Christ.
much better in Diamondback's hat. That's for sure.
He does look
Looks
better.
like Aaron Loop, kind of.
Maybe it's
White,
the name
white.
Aaron.
wow.
Yeah,
Seriously?
yeah.
Seriously? Marcus Stroman?
Hell yeah.
I would be stoked that you said that.
I'm so upset that my mic was being such a bitch because I had this whole rant for Marcus Stroman, and I was gonna go in on him and just.
Hey, you got
fucking-
time. I mean, you got 10 minutes.
We're not stopping you.
I had a whole thing about like us like being racist and like having sheets over our heads. I mean, it was just there was such a
Okay,
great thing.
freaking. Okay, White
And-
Dragon.
Yeah,
chill.
It was
break
just
the
so-
microphone again, maybe not.
It was so good, dude. It was gonna be like on. Oh, he just said that. Wow.
man's watched
But
way
no.
too much damn
Anyways, I
Peacemaker.
think we'll wrap it up here.
I hold my
Unless there's
microphone.
anything else we can.
Just hold my.
4
there you go.
microphones in frame.
4 microphones in front.
But anyways.
Jesus,
yeah.
Frank, what are you like 9 feet tall? You gotta have the mic all the way up there. Jesus.
No, because the camera's so wide, it goes in the shot. If I put it like slightly lower, it just takes up a corner.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, there we go.
Andrew.
All right.
Very good.
We're closing this out here. Yeah, the Juan Soto
Yeah.
video is popping off for no absolute reason, but gotta love a little bit of.
Confirmed.
Little bit. I mean, I've confirmed a little bit of clickbait. Don't hurt nobody. I mean, a guy on early Mets Weekly made a career off of it, so no shots there at all. On Saturday, I don't even know if I want to do this after this piss poor performance against the Devils, but me and Metsfan are going to do a live stream Rangers and Penguins. That'll be streaming at 3 o'clock Eastern to my time. Also have a potential reliever collab. Maybe we get that out soon because hey, everyone's saying the deal's done by the 28th, so maybe we get the video out. That's down the pipeline. Maybe some top 10 again. Maybe bringing the top 10s. The Soto videos maybe got me to upload more, but still just be prepared. Anytime the video just pops in your sub box.
No, just confirm. I don't know. Just confirm Bieber next.
I mean, fact, Metro would love that. I mean, I'm thinking confirming.
He spoke
Aaron
Freddie
Judge, too.
Freeman into existence.
I mean,
so-
I think that should be a Metro upload. I'll make the thumbnail for you. You just gotta there you go.
Frank.
Yeah, I have a couple of videos. One that could be a bit of a group project, but there is one rant I did want to do, but I'm going to give the Mets a chance to fix it before I rant, and then they end up, because this is what happens. Knowing my luck, I'll make a rant about it. Mets will fix it, and then I'll be like, but you still don't want to say that now, and I'll be like,
Do it then.
Then do it.
but we'll see. But those are
right.
the videos I'd like to make, but.
Oh,
Everyone
guys,
wants to be
chat. Do you want to see an online franchise? Me and Frank, building two can build a better team. Maybe do that. Frank's been bored on MLB.
Or do you want to see us combine our Diamond Dynasty team?
Or you guys want a MLB The Show 22 coming out? What happens first? The show coming out or the season starting? A little bit of
That's a good
co-op
buy
on
or
Mets
sell.
Weekly channel.
What happens first? MLB spring training game or MLB The Show comes out?
Go outside. Okay.
Look who's talking.
Yeah, look at the dog.
TonyMetro. Hey, I go outside all the time. TonyMetro, yours. The floor's yours.
Yeah, now's probably as great of a time as any for me to announce that my channel is going to be transitioning. I'm now going to be covering cricket exclusively.
Nice.
Because we're not going to be
Nice.
having baseball, it doesn't look like. So if you want to see all the latest coverage on all of the ICC, that's the International Cricketeering Association, be sure to check out TonyMetro. All real, I'm going to be doing a video on the 91 Mets, worst team money could buy, as soon as I just get my shit together. So check it out.
All right, and as for me, obviously, we still got the Mets roster ranking video kind of hanging over my head right now. That's going to be pretty fun. Hopefully, we can get some of these guys to react to it, and we'll go back and forth.
There's
and,
definitely a Rhino reaction.
also, Monday, I will be announcing the brackets for Mets Madness on Twitter. Because it's March now, so that'll be
You better get a higher
fun.
seat this time.
You might. I don't know, man.
Yeah, don't put me in the impossible matchup.
My tweets popping off lately. Come on.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we're just going
Appreciate it,
we're just going by fame. So that's pretty much all we're doing by.
He was
But
on
other
Barcell.
than that, that's pretty much it. Make sure to go subscribe to everyone individually. Elias, who could not make it. Also, Mets Talk with Hayden as well, who had to leave early. Also, make sure to follow Mets Weekly on Twitter. Follow all of us on Twitter individually. Join our Discord, all that shit. Links are in the description. LFGM. Hopefully we can get baseball back, but I doubt it at this point. We'll see you guys next week.